Hare Krishna, welcome everyone to our Mahabharata character series. We'll begin with our prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा welcome everyone to our Mahabharata character series. We are discussing the wonderful life of Yudhishthir Maharaj, and last time we had discussed how when Pandavas they were sent to forest for 12 years of exile and 1 year of incognito. So you know, Yudhishthir Maharaj he maintained his you know very calm disposition. He didn't show any anger to anyone, and all the Pandavas they went to the forest along with Draupadi and Kunti Maharani. She stayed back with Vidura because she was old, and we saw that in the forest Krishna came and he met along with Balram, he met all the Pandavas, and then he consoled Draupadi about what had happened, and he assured that for sure, you know, she'll become the queen and Pandavas will become victorious. And in the forest, so many of the sages they came and they gave such wonderful advice to Yudhishthir Maharaj. Yudhishthir Maharaj, he wanted to serve all the Brahmanas, so he did tapasya. Following the instructions of Narad Muni, he did tapasya to please Lord Suryadev, and they got Akshay Patra. And in this way, because Yudhishthira had such a wonderful desire to serve the Brahmanas, all the facilities were provided. In this way, they were happy. But that's what we discussed so far. So we'll continue. What happened. Yudhishthir was very happy and satisfied being in the forest because that's how his nature was. He was by nature, very inclined to the scriptures and simple life, Brahminical qualities. Draupadi, she was not happy. She could not forget the insult which she had to undergo. She went to Yudhishthir and she said, "O king, how is it that you are staying such passively here? We are insulted. Now 12 months have passed by and you are sitting here passively doing all the austerities. Why are you not retaliating? you know you should go back to the Hastinapur and you should defeat all the Kauravas and get your kingdom back. How can you sit here passively?" She was very angry. So when Draupadi spoke, Bhima also joined because Bhima was also burning with anger. Bhima said, "Oh Yudhishthir Maharaj, you know how can you sit here without doing anything? you know you are a kshatriya. You are supposed to rule the kingdom according to the dharmic instructions." Yudhishthir, he said, "O Draupadi, anger leads to no good in this world, so therefore please stay calm, and anything done in anger becomes even worse. No good happens when things are done in the feet of anger. One should never give in to anger, O Draupadi. And you should always remember that forgiveness is the supreme virtue. Learn to cultivate this quality of forgiveness." But Draupadi was not pacified. She said, "O king, I also know dharma. Don't think that you are only knower of dharma. I also know dharma. But this is not the time for forgiveness. This is time to punish. The king who does not know the difference when to punish and when to forgive, he is destroyed." Very strong words Draupadi is saying. Bhima spoke. "O king, we should march back and gain our kingdom. Yudhishthir, although he was provoked by so many words, but he was undisturbed. That is a quality of Yudhishthir which always comes out. He never gets disturbed. He's calm like an ocean. That is what is described in Bhagavad Gita, Sthita Pragya. So in second chapter, in the last section, 2. Second chapter, 54th verse onwards, 55 to 72, very, very profound verses are spoken by Krishna to describe a person who is steady in his intelligence in all the circumstances, all the situations. Krishna says there that a person who is connected to the supreme absolute truth, he is like ocean. Rivers may enter, millions of liters of water may enter the ocean every second, but still the ocean never overflows, never gets disturbed. आपूर्यमाणम् अचलप्रतिष्ठं समुद्रमापः प्रविशन्ति यद्वत् तद्वत् कामायं प्रविशन्ति सर्वे स शान्तिमाप्नोति न कामकामी. Because a spiritualist, he does not want any material sense gratification. So therefore he is not disturbed by any insults or any praises, any provocations. So Yudhishthir was very calm. He said, "O Bhima, I can understand your pain. But please remember that I have given my words that we'll stay in the forest for 12 years and 1 year in incognito." He said, I should have controlled myself. I know now Yudhishthira Maharaj is admitting, he's saying, I should have controlled myself, but under the influence of that gambling match, I continued gambling and I gambled everything. I got carried away, but I cannot give up my virtue. I have to follow my words. And when Yudhishthir, he submitted his fault, admitted his fault, Bhima and Draupadi became a little bit pacified. So it is very important to understand that in this world where is human, everybody commits a mistake. There are four defects every human has: to commit mistakes, imperfect senses, to cheat others, and to get cheated. You know. But it is very, very important to admit your mistake. Whenever we make mistake, to make mistake is nothing big, but to admit mistake, it is very, very important. It is said it takes a lot of courage to forgive someone, but it takes even a bigger courage to ask for forgiveness. And Yudhishthir Maharaj, he was so very deeply rooted in the principles of dharma. That's why it was not difficult for him to ask for forgiveness. Many times, why it is difficult to ask forgiveness? Because of our ego. To humble ourselves in front of anyone requires humility. And because of our ego, people think, how can I bow down in front of anybody? Actually, any fool can commit a mistake, but it requires an intelligent person to admit it. So, in the spiritual life, it is a journey of overcoming all these conditionings of lust, anger, greed, pride, envy, illusion. These are the various obstacles we have to cross over in our spiritual journey. That is Krishna consciousness all about, to purify our heart of all the contaminations, of all the anarthas which are there. And very simple way to do it is by regularly hearing, bathing our mind and consciousness with the pastimes of Krishna. That is purifying. प्रविष्टकर्णरन्ध्रेण स्वानाम्भावसरोरुहं धुनोति शमलं कृष्ण सलीलस्य यथा शरत्. Just like in the autumnal season, the water bodies become clear with the rains. Similarly, when we hear about Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's instructions, which he gives in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, our heart becomes purified. Actually, in this world, many times all these unwanted things, they are advertised as something very, very important. People actually want these qualities, want these these conditionings, and these are advertised in such a wonderful way. They are presented in nice words. So these six qualities, six anarthas: lust, anger, greed, pride, envy, and illusion, they are portrayed as good qualities. People say, they don't say be envious, they say be competitive. They don't say be angry, say be aggressive. They don't say be in illusion, they say be yourself. So they don't say be lusty, they say be passionate. They don't say be greedy, they say be ambitious. So all these are word jugglery, just to put a give a different name to a wrong thing. Of course, these things can be used in right perspective also, but many a times these are used to increase our ego, our arrogance, our pride. So Yudhishthir, because he humbled himself, admitted his mistake, Bhima and Draupadi, they were little bit pacified. So in our day-to-day lives, to save relationships, we have to learn to humble ourselves and ask for forgiveness. You know, ego many times destroys the relationships. When we go and ask for forgiveness, when we say sorry to somebody, as I have discussed earlier also, it does not mean that we are wrong, even if you are right. If you go and ask for forgiveness, say sorry, that means you value that relationship more than being right. That should always be in the front of our mind. So therefore, Draupadi, he spoke, O king, there is always a higher virtue and lower virtue. You are talking about your words of honor, but you should understand that there is a higher virtue. We are insulted so grievously, and you are talking about just honoring your words. It is not the time to honor your words. We have to go back, and we have to follow the principles of dharma. Do your duty as a kshatriya and go back. But still, Yudhishthir was very, very firm. Yudhishthir is an example of how a person can stick to the principles of dharma in all the conditions, because he has that wisdom. He knows what is right, what is wrong, what should be done at what time. Bhima said, if you stay in forest, you know, then how are we going to, protect ourselves in 1 year of incognito? You may live for 12 years, but after that 1 year, and in that 1 year again, the Kauravas will come and they will find us, and again we'll have to go to forest for 12 years. We cannot do that. We cannot wait for that. He said, 12 months have passed now, and 12 months can be considered as 12 years. So now we should go back and get our kingdom. Yudhishthira said, Oh Bhima, what has happened is because of our own karma. Even if we go back, we will have to suffer in some way. This is a very, 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 very strong thing which Yudhishthira is saying. Many times we want to do so many of the arrangements by which we can surpass or bypass some of our wrong wrong reactions which are about to come. But we cannot surpass the laws of nature. In this world, people, they don't follow the laws of nature, and they do some sinful activities because they think, oh, if I can surpass and get away with the laws of nature, laws of this government, then I'll be happy. But they forget that they may escape the laws of government of this world, but the laws of nature are very, very strict. You cannot save yourself. If you are doing something wrong, you'll have to get the reaction. So Yudhishthira, he said, whatever has happened is because of our own karma. So therefore, better stay in the forest and undergo all the austerities. And then he says, what is the guarantee even if we go back? What is the guarantee that we will win? And now we don't have any army, we don't have enough weapons. So how can we fight against Bhishma, Kripa, Drona, such great warriors, Karna? So, we cannot just be impatient and go back. We have to cultivate the virtue of being austere while we are in the forest. At the same time, we have to get weapons. We have to make allies. We have to get armies. That's how we'll be able to fight back. Hearing this, Bhima was satisfied a little bit. In this world, many times, when things happen, we should know what is the right thing to do at that time. Although Yudhishthir, now he was put in the forest, but he knew what is the right time, what is the right thing to do at this moment. And we can see this from the life of Yudhishthir Maharaj. In all the situations, he was very alert. How can I see this situation from the eyes of God? That is the vision of a spiritualist. Why this is happening to me? We should not ask this question. We should ask how I can increase my faith towards Lord in this situation. That is a devotee. That is a spiritualist. When problem comes in our life, we have to ask how. And in difficult situations, we have to take shelter of the scriptures. We have to take shelter of the saintly people. We have to take shelter of the devotees of Lord to get right type of guidance. We have to make our intelligence very, very sharp. And that's how scriptures are meant for. That's why they are there. So we see Yudhishthira, he was righteous in many ways. Even though Kuru elders, they didn't deal with him properly, even though they were sent to the forest, even though Draupadi was insulted, Yudhishthira, he didn't lose his virtue. He didn't create dissension even in the citizens. When citizens they came just before Pandavas were leaving for the forest, citizens came and told, we want to come with you. Yudhishthira didn't agree to that proposal also. So that's how Yudhishthira always was there on the side of virtue. So as they were passing their days in the forest, Vyasadeva came one day and he said, war is evident in the future. You should all prepare for it. Arjuna should go do tapasya and get celestial weapons. All of you should go to the higher realms and practice austerity, make yourself strong so that you can fight properly against the Kauravas. He said, I'll teach you mantras. I'll teach you mantras by which you can go to the higher realms. You can go even to the heavenly planets and you can get the weapons from the devatas there. And he taught some mantras. Yudhishthira, he went and taught these mantras to Arjun. And then Arjun, he was about to leave for the heavenly planets. And Draupadi, she was not so happy because she was very much attached to Arjun. And then Lomas Rishi came and he said, Yudhishthir, when devatas they lose their kingdom, they do austerities and then they regain their wealth. You have lost all your wealth, please do austerities. So many sages were coming and helping. That is how we have to see the world. Whenever, because these Pandavas, they were so very devoted to Krishna. Krishna was sending all these sages, inspiring them to go and give Pandavas right guidance. So therefore, if we live our life according to the principles of religion, according to the principles of Krishna consciousness, then for sure Krishna will give, help. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. Anyone who worships me with faith and devotion, bhajatam priti purvakam, with love, dadami buddhi yogam tam. Krishna says, I give him the intelligence. Yena mam upayanti te, how to advance in spiritual life. And Krishna will not come personally for us. For Pandavas, Krishna was coming personally. But for us, Krishna sends his devotees, his representatives. He sends his books, scriptures. It is our responsibility to recognize them. Oh, this is Krishna, sending this personality, just like Srila Prabhupada. When he was in India before going to West, he would write Back to Godhead magazine, and he would sell them personally. One day a person told, Swamiji, you are writing these magazines, and those times, Back to Godhead means only 4 pages magazine. So this person said, Swamiji, you are writing these magazines, but people, they read this and then they throw it in the dustbin. You should write books. The books will stay. Prabhupada later he commented that, Krishna was speaking through that person. So we should be intelligent enough to recognize, oh, this is Krishna speaking through this personality. So Yudhishthira Maharaj, he accepted the words of these great sages. And of course, many times Krishna sends personally his devotees. So we have to be intelligent enough, submissive enough to accept the words of devotees. That's how we will also advance in spiritual life. So Yudhishthir, accepting the words of Lomas Rishi and Vyasdev, they moved towards Badrik Ashram. Arjuna had already left for the heavenly regions. So Yudhishthir, along with other Pandavas and Draupadi, they went towards Badrik Ashram. The journey was not so easy. It was a very difficult journey. And Yudhishthir, he was, as he was very, very dear to the Brahmanas, Brahmanas could not leave Yudhishthir. They were also coming with them. So at one point of time, when the journey was about to become very, very difficult, because Badrik Ashram is not a very easy place to reach. It is not Badrik Ashram of India, where people go. There is a Badrik Ashram where actually Vyasdev is residing. That is in Greater Himalayas in Bhumandal. So they were about to go for that travel, that journey. So Yudhishthir, he told all the sages, O sages, now you please all, you go and stay in the kingdom of some of the pious kings. Virat is nearby, king of, this Virat. He is a very, very pious king. You please go and stay in that kingdom. All the Brahmanas, they departed with a heavy heart. They didn't want to get separated from Yudhishthir, but they left. They gave all the blessings to Pandavas, and then Pandavas moved ahead. Draupadi, she was getting really, really tired. It was a very, very austere journey. And one time she practically fainted. So Yudhishthir, he told Bhima that, oh Bhima, you please take care of Draupadi. And Bhima, he was practically carrying Draupadi all the way from that time onwards. He was carrying Draupadi on his shoulders. But still, the journey was very difficult. It was very, very difficult to reach Badrik Ashram. So Bhima, he told, call Ghatotkach. Ghatotkach was the son of Bhima from Hidimbi. So he said, Ghatotkach is a very, very powerful personality. He's a night ranger. He can take us directly. He'll jump and he'll take us to that place. So he can travel with great speed. Please call Ghatotkach. So then Ghatotkach was called, and then very swiftly, Ghatotkach, he carried all the Pandavas along with Draupadi to Gandhamadhan mountain near Badrikashram. And this Gandhamadhan mountain, it was like celestial region, very heavenly, very wonderful atmosphere. Nice breeze was blowing, beautiful forest flowers, beautiful, very crystal clear, transparent lakes were there, mountains, all the facilities of life, food, nice grains, whatever you wanted, it was available there. So Pandavas, they felt very happy. Lomas Rishi again came after some time and he told, you should stay here because Arjuna will come back from the heavens at this place. So Pandavas, they were doing their austerities there, doing meditation and trying to please the devatas also. One day, Bhima, he actually, uh, in that river one day, Draupadi, she saw 1,000 petaled golden lotus, and she became so very happy to get that, to see that lotus. So whenever Draupadi, she would want something, she would tell Bhima, and Bhima, he wanted to give all the happiness to Draupadi because Draupadi was always in a sad mood because she had to undergo all the pains and sufferings. So he wanted to give pleasure to Draupadi in whatever way possible. So Draupadi, when she told Bhima, requested that please get me more of those lotuses. So Bhima, he went all the way up. It was not a very easy journey. He traveled the path and he entered the area of Yakshas. And as he was entering the area of Yakshas, the guarding person, the Yaksha, he told, you cannot enter this place. This place belongs to Kuvera. You have to take permission from Kuvera. So Bhima is a Kshatriya. For a Kshatriya to beg, it is impossible. That's why Krishna, when Arjuna told Krishna, oh Krishna, na bhoksham bhaksham apiha loke, it is better for me to go to the forest and beg, but I cannot fight. Krishna said, it is not possible for you to beg because for a Kshatriya, if some person will come and he will dishonor you and he'll criticize you, you will kill that person, even as a beggar or a Brahmana. So Bhima, he said, Kshatriyas can never beg, and he killed that person. He was bringing back lotuses. More of the Yakshas came and they started fighting with Bhima. Bhima started killing all of them very furiously. Kuvera came, and by that time on, Yudhishthira, he understood there is something wrong which is happening because it was a long time had passed. So Yudhishthir went all the way searching Bhima and he found Bhima killing all the Yakshas. And then Kuvera came. So Yudhishthir, when he saw Kuvera, he reprimanded Bhima. He said, oh Bhima, why are you killing all these Yakshas unnecessarily? Just stop killing them. And he begged forgiveness from Yaksha, from Kuvera. So seeing such a humble disposition of Yudhishthir Maharaj, Kuvera became very happy and he blessed Yudhishthir and Bhima. This is very, very interesting to understand. When some mistake happens, whenever we commit some mistake, better to be submissive. By being submissive, we can minimize the damage. Because Bhima, he had made a mistake of killing the Yakshas unnecessarily. Yudhishthir, because he became humble and he begged forgiveness, Kuvera became happy. Actually, the same thing happens with Dhruva also. It is described in Bhagavatam. When brother of Dhruva, Uttama, he was killed by one of the yakshas. Dhruv Maharaj, he went and he started killing all the yakshas indiscriminately. And then at one point of time, he was about to, uh, annihilate the entire race of yakshas. Swayambhu Manu came and he intervened and said, "Oh, Dhruva, please stop killing all these yakshas. It is not good for you." And then somehow, Dhruva, he accepted his mistake, stopped killing. Kuvera, that time he became very happy and he gave benedictions to Dhruva. And similarly here, Kuvera, when Yudhishthira Maharaj asked forgiveness from Kuvera, he became satisfied, pacified. So therefore, it is natural that because to err is human, we will make mistakes in our life. We will many times speak harsh words. But if we become humble and accept our mistake, then we can minimize the damage which will happen in relationships. Otherwise, it is so very easy to tell a harsh word. So therefore, we have whenever we make a mistake, we are misusing our free will. And when we misuse our free will for a wrong thing, better to accept that and be submissive and ask for forgiveness. In fact, in this world, we have also misused our free will and we have come here in this world, in this material world. Bhagavatam and scriptures, they describe that living entities, all of us, we were with Krishna, serving Krishna, we were with Krishna happy, but we also, misused our free will and came here. But now, because we have realized that we have made a mistake, what we have to do? Be humble and submit our mistake and accept whatever instruction is given by Krishna. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Mamupetya punarjanma dukkhalayam shashnatam napnuvanti mahatmanam sansiddhim paramam gata. Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, Mam upetya punarjanma na. Anyone who takes shelter of me, he crosses this world which is full of birth, old age, disease, and death. Krishna says that all the living entities, they are my part and parcels. They are struggling in this world because they have misused their free will. And anybody who turns to me, I protect him. That's what Krishna is telling to Arjuna. Oh Krishna, oh Arjun, please declare boldly that my devotee will never perish. Krishna personally is telling, Teshamaham samudharta mrityu sansara sagarat bhavamina chirat partha maya veshata chetasam. Krishna is telling, I deliver a person who takes shelter of me. So many times, Bhima, because of his impetuous nature, he would enter into some wrong thing. And then Yudhishthir would have to save him many times. One time, Bhima saw a very giant snake in front of a cave. And as he was just examining this snake, observing this snake, immediately with a great speed, the snake came and he caught Bhima, captured Bhima in his coils. And Bhima, he became practically unconscious. After a few moments, he came back to consciousness and he was shocked. He said, "Who are you? I am such a great personality, powerful personality. I have defeated great Kshatriyas, warriors. How come that you have captured me so easily? Who are you?" The snake said, I was Rajarshi Nahusha. So Nahusha was a great king. And he says, the snake is saying that, because Indra one time he left the kingdom of heaven because of the curse of killing a Brahmana. I was made the king of heaven because Nahusha was a very, very pious king, very, very virtuous, devoted king. But this story shows the power of intoxication by wealth. So Nahusha, when he became the king of heaven, he became the Indra. So he started thinking, wow, now I'm the king of heaven. Everything is belonging to me. So the wife of Indra should always also belong to me. So Shachi, who was the wife of Indra, he went and proposed that, oh, you should enjoy with me. Shachi, being a chaste wife, she was shocked by this proposal. She went to the sages and she told. So the sages, they gave an idea to Shachi. They said, you go and tell Nahusha that you are ready to enjoy with him, but you should come on the palanquin which is being carried by the sages, the great seven sages, Saptarishis. And Nahusha, he was so mad, intoxicated by the wealth, by the opulence. He agreed to this proposal. And then he was being carried by the Saptarishis. One of them was Agastya. And as all these Saptarishis, they were carrying Nahusha, Nahusha was becoming impatient. He kicked Agastya with his foot and he said, quickly, go quickly, Sarpa, Sarpa. Sarpa means to go fast. So Agastya, he became so angry. He said, you are calling us Sarpa, Sarpa, telling us to go fast. You become Sarpa. And he was cursed to become a snake. So this is a classic story which tells how opulences can make one proud. Any opulence in this world can intoxicate the mind. Janma karma vayo rupa vidya aishwarya dhanadibhi yadiyasya na bhavet stambha tatra ayam mad anugrahat. It is described by Vamanadev. High birth, janma, karma, good activities, pious activities, beautiful body, youthful body, high knowledge, aishwarya, wealth, all these things are potentially intoxicating. Anyone who is not a devotee, who is not a spiritualist, in true sense, for sure he will get carried away by the intoxication of these things. So, therefore, only way to be humble, in spite of all the opulences, is to acknowledge the source of all the opulences. And who is that? That is Krishna. When we acknowledge that Krishna is the source of all the opulences, everything is given by him. I am just the caretaker. Nothing belongs to me. Everything is belonging to Krishna. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate. Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, everything is coming from me. In that consciousness, we can be humble. If we are not humble, if we are proud of our wealth, our prestige, our position in the society, our education, our beauty, then it is very, very difficult to please Krishna. We may externally become great devotees in the society of devotees, but Krishna will not be pleased. Because Krishna knows the heart, he is there in everyone's heart. Ishvara sarva bhutanam hridadeshe. And if he sees that this person is proud, he is externally making a show of devotion, internally he is proud of his opulences, Krishna will not give mercy. Krishna will not give us that faith. And that pride, that arrogance is like a termite. Slowly termite eats away the wood from within. It becomes hollow, and one day the entire structure collapses. So therefore, we have to be very, very uh, attentive and scrutinizingly. We have to, root out the seeds of envy and pride and arrogance. We have to regularly take inventory of our thoughts so that we can, detect, oh, now my pride is increasing. Now I am becoming a little arrogant. We have to continuously align ourselves with the true north of being humble. You know. So therefore, Nahusha, the snake, he said, because I was proud, I was cursed. And but when Nahusha was cursed, he realized his mistake and he begged forgiveness from Agastya. So Agastya, he said, okay, whoever will come, because he was cursed to become an immobile snake. He was not even able to move. So Agastya, he said, okay, anybody who will come near you, you will be able to catch them and eat them. And said, so the snake said, today I will eat you. So as Yudhishthir, he understood, he started seeing some inauspicious omens. He understood Bhima must be in some danger. He went searching Bhima and found this snake, devouring Bhima. Yudhishthir, he asked, oh snake, please tell me, why are you, devouring Bhima? If you want to eat, we'll give you different another food to eat. Please leave him. We'll arrange food for you. The snake said, look, I have caught Bhima, and now I am going to eat him. And if you come near, I will catch you also, and tomorrow I'll eat you also. Yudhishthira started thinking, we have to do something. He thought there must be some way, because this snake does not look an ordinary snake. He must be cursed by somebody. So he asked, please, oh snake, please tell me how you can be released from this curse. So Nahusha, he said, Agastya, he told me that if someone can answer my questions about dharma, then I'll be freed from this snake body. Yudhishthir delighted, because for him, topics of dharma, they were always attractive. It was like ecstasy for Yudhishthir. Yudhishthir said, please ask. I will answer your questions. I'll try to answer your questions. So Nahusha, he agreed and started asking. He said, who is a Brahmana? And what is the highest knowledge? Yudhishthir said, Brahmana is a person who has the qualities of austerity, knowledge, truthfulness, simplicity, humility, firm faith in God. That is a Brahmana. And what is the highest knowledge? Knowledge means to tolerate the dualities of this world. Nahusha said, but these qualities which we are talking about, they are found in other people also, other varnas also. How can a person tolerate the dualities of the world? How can these qualities be the qualities of Brahmanas if they are found in other people also? Then Yudhishthir said something deeper. He said, actually, wherever you find these qualities, that person is a Brahman. And he said, highest knowledge is not the knowledge of the dualities of the world. Highest knowledge is the knowledge of the absolute truth. Knowledge about Supreme Lord is the highest knowledge. A person who is absorbed in the spiritual truth, absorbed in the knowledge about God, that person is knowledgeable. This is very important to understand. In this world, if somebody is educated from some nice university, he has a degree and he is earning a lot of money, that person is considered to be educated. But Actually, from the eyes of scriptures, all this knowledge of modern universities, it is a sophisticated carpentry, that's all. You know what all engineers means sophisticated way of doing things, you know. So therefore, Bhagavatam and the Bhagavad Gita and the scriptures, they don't count our degrees of this world as the qualifications of, you know, being educated. Bhagavad Gita describes in the 13th chapter, Krishna is saying there are 20 points of knowledge. अमानित्वम अदम्भित्वम अहिंसा शांतिरार्जवम आचार्योपासनम शौचम स्थैर्यम आत्मविनिग्रह इंद्रियार्थेषु वैराग्यम अनहंकार एव च. He goes on, you know. These are the various qualities which a person has to cultivate. Amanitvam, not expecting any respect for oneself. Adambhitvam, not boasting about oneself. Ahimsa, non-violence. Arjavam, simplicity. So these are the qualities which we have to cultivate. They are not taught in the modern universities. You know, that's why Srila Prabhupada, he would say, you know, modern universities, they are spiritual slaughterhouses. They destroy the spiritual inclinations of a personality. So Nahusha, he was happy to hear all such wonderful explanations. He said, if qualities of Brahmana are found in other castes also, then what is the use of dividing the society? Yudhishthira said, you know, in earlier days, it was possible to divide the community in Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Not possible now because there is so much of intermixing of the castes. So now one is called as a Brahmana if he shows the qualities of Brahmana. That's what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita also. Guna and karma. What is our psychophysical nature? You know, in current context, if we use the words psychophysical nature, what is our psychophysical nature? We are competent doing it and we are comfortable doing it. Now, these two things determine our psychophysical nature. We are competent doing it and we are comfortable doing it. So a very wonderful discussion happened between Nahusha and Yudhishthir Maharaj, and Nahusha was very happy. He was pleased. Yudhishthir, he realized that this person is not an ordinary person. He is a very, very learned personality. He wanted to learn from Nahusha. So he asked many questions and Nahusha answered. Because of course, Nahusha was a great Rajarshi. Because of the circumstances, he fell down. But he had that knowledge still. And then as soon as, you know, all the questions were answered, Nahusha, he released Bhima, and immediately the snake died and effulgent personality appeared. Nahusha appeared and went to the heavenly abodes. So Bhima and Yudhishthir, they returned back, and then after some time Arjuna also returned from heaven, and all the Pandavas, Draupadi, they were so very happy to see Arjun. And Yudhishthir, he asked, "Oh Arjuna, please show me the weapons which you have brought from heavens. I want to see them. I want to see their power." So Arjuna, he started invoking all the weapons and he was about to use them. The sages appeared in the sky and said, "Oh King Yudhishthir, these weapons are not ordinary weapons. They should not be used for exhibition. Please wait for the war. And when war will start, you'll be able to see the power of these weapons." Yudhishthir accepted and nodded his head. And they continued, Pandavas continued to stay at Gandhamadan for some time. Bhima, he said after some time, he said, "Oh Yudhishthir Maharaj, we should not stay here for long. This place is too comfortable for us. If we continue staying here, we'll lose our impetus to fight. We'll lose what all insults, we'll forget what all insults We had to undergo, we should go down to the earthly regions. Of course, this Gandhamadhan was also in earthly region only, but it was little higher, you know. So he said, no, no, we should go down and we should do austerities. If we do austerities, then we'll remember what we have lost and we'll try to gain. And Yudhishthira, he accepted. He said, yes, we should not get distracted because staying in opulent place, luxurious place, comfortable place is not good. It is very important in our spiritual practices also. We have to voluntarily take some austerities. We may be situated in a very luxurious position, in a very nice environment, comfortable environment, but we have to voluntarily undergo some austerities. When we take some austerities in our life, it gives us to impetus to work hard. If things are going well, then it is very difficult to give our best. So therefore, in spiritual life, we have to voluntarily take some austerities. What are those austerities? Do we have to leave everything, go to the forest? First of all, forests are not there. Where will go? Should we stop eating? Should we do fasting? What should we do? Should we practice complete mauna silence? Srila Prabhupada, once he was in Vrindavan and he was walking with one of his disciples, and this disciple was not wearing slippers, no footwear. So Prabhupada asked him, oh, why are you not wearing any footwear? So this disciple was in another mood, in Vrindavan mood. When people, devotees, they go to Vrindavan, something happens to them sometimes. So this devotee was telling, Prabhupada, we are in Vrindavan. Vrindavan is a place of, Krishna, where he didn't wear any slippers. So I will also not wear slippers. Krishna didn't wear slippers in Vrindavan. Prabhupada said, there is already enough austerity in the world, don't add new one. Actually, what Prabhupada meant, our austerity is not many times physical austerity. Our austerity is to, fight with our mind, struggle with our conditionings. Our austerity is to every day attentively chant 16 rounds, follow the principles, try to be humble, serve devotees, follow Ekadashi. These are our austerities. If you want to do austerities, better do these austerities. So therefore, we should not be in the comfort zone. There are three zones. There is a comfort zone, there is a stretch zone, and there is a stress zone. We should neither be in the comfort zone nor be in the stress zone. We should try to be in the stretch zone. Just try to go little bit beyond our comfortable limits. Be in a stretch zone so that we continue to be on the path of spiritual life. We continue to realize, okay, I have to do something more. If we are comfortable chanting our 16 rounds, try to increase. If we are comfortable reading scriptures for half an hour, try to increase. If we cannot increase in quantity, at least increase in quality. you know and we have to be conscious of increasing our quality also, because ultimately quantity does not please Krishna. Of course, we have to chant minimum 16 rounds, that is the prescribed thing given by Prabhupada. But quality pleases Krishna. Bahujanma kore yadi shravana kirtan tabutan paye Krishna pade prem dhan. Otherwise, if you are chanting and hearing for many, many lifetimes, if you are not attentive, then you will not be able to please Krishna. You know. So therefore, now all the Pandavas and Draupadi came down, and they were uh, they were staying there in the forest, and Krishna came to meet with Pandavas along with the wives. So Krishna, he discussed so many things with Pandavas, and the wives of Krishna met Draupadi, And then Markandeya Muni came and Narad Muni came. They all met Yudhishthir Maharaj, taught him various dharmic principles. And then, as they were staying now in Kamyavan, so Pandavas, they were now staying in Kamyavan. So in Kamyavan, Duryodhan came along with his entourage. Duryodhan was such a envious personality. He was not happy just sending Pandavas to forest. He wanted to give them more pain by flaunting his wealth, showing them, oh, just see, you are in forest and we are enjoying life. And then they all went. Duryodhan and all the party, they went and they camped right in, next to the hut of Pandavas. And then some interesting things happened, which we'll discuss next time. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare.
So, thank you so much, Prabhuji. There is uh, there is a question. Um, we get high birth, opulence, etc., because of piety, and when we get them, it's an impediment to our piety. So, isn't this a kind of a contradiction? And what is the reason behind this? Uh,
Okay. Yeah.
Priya's asking.
So, of course, when we get high birth, good health, beauty, powers, that is the result of our pious activities of the past. And these are not impediment for to live a pious life, but to live a spiritual life, these are impediments. Because when we get this such type of body with all these opulences, naturally they are conducive. They give us a chance to enjoy more, right? Because we have done something in the past, and that's why we are getting the results of those things. So that is the general course of action for a materialist. A person who wants to enjoy, he does some austerity, and then in the future birth he gets a nice situation where he can enjoy better. But Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Shuchinam Srimatam Gehe Yoga Bhrashto Vijayate. Just because now, a person may be in an opulent family, but if he gets a chance to connect to Krishna, if he is practicing Krishna consciousness, we should understand that this person must have performed some devotional activity in the past life. That's why he is or she is getting a chance to take birth in a opulent family. Somehow she could not or he could not complete his journey in the past life, and now that person has been given another chance. Okay, now you will be given some better situation, because a person who is poor, for him his whole anxiety is how he will maintain his self, his body, his family. For a opulent rich personality, that is not an issue many times. So that personality can focus more on spiritual life. Of course, this happens many times, even though a person is very rich, but the greed keeps him so very busy, that he cannot focus on spiritual life. To maintain the status, to be known as a very wealthy person, a famous person, people are working so very hard and forgetting the spiritual goals. So therefore, all these opulences, they are conducive for material life. But if we want to live a spiritual life, then we have to use them very, very, very attentively and carefully. Kunti Maharani says a very wonderful verse. Janma Ishwarya Shruta Shribhir Edamana Madhapuman Naivarhatya Vidhatum Vai Twama Kinchana Gochara. So it is very, very important to understand that when scriptures they condemn all these opulences, they are not telling that you become a beggar. You know, scriptures are against possessive mentality. Krishna is against possessive mentality, not possessions. Somebody may be a very opulent person. Just take the example of Pandavas. They were the kings of the world, but Krishna was very, very dear to them, and they were dear to Krishna because they were not thinking, oh, all this is for me. No, all this is for Krishna. So, akinchana gochara, akinchan means no possessions. That does not mean no possessions. That means no possessive mentality. So, therefore, all these opulences, if somebody has got, that means for sure they have lived a very pious life, a devotional life. And now we have to think how can we use it to come close to Krishna better. So, there is no contradiction. If you want to live material life, these things will be very helpful. And if you want to live a spiritual life, still you can use these things because our principle is Yukta Vairagya. You know, one time, Srila Prabhupada, one devotee, he went to Srila Prabhupada and he showed a picture of a famous guru that time. And this guru, he had a huge pile of money right in front of him. And he was doing like this, posing. And there was a picture. And he was showing that I don't even touch money. Prabhupada said, okay, bring money, put in front of me, I'll do like this. So Prabhupada said, if you have money, use it in Krishna's service. Artificially renouncing money is not our goal. Our goal is Yukta Vairagya. Use it in the service of Krishna because everything is belonging to Krishna. Use in Krishna's service. That is a real spiritualist. That way we can use our opulences properly in a right consciousness. Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you so much. Very nicely explained, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, there's one more question on YouTube. Somebody's asking if once one goes back home, back to Godhead, does one still have the free will to come back? Is it possible that you know again we will misuse the free will and come back?
It is said a person who is burnt by the hot milk, he even drinks the buttermilk, very carefully. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita uh, that if somebody comes back to me, my abode, he'll never come back. Mamaivamsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana manasasthani indriyani prakriti sthani karshati. And then after that he says, anybody who comes back to me, yad gatva na nivartante tadhama paramam mama. So after one goes to the spiritual world, after struggling in this world for millions of births, we don't know since when we are struggling here, suffering. So it is said that in this material world, we have cried so much that ocean of tears is created. You know, so much we have cried so much suffering we have undergone. But when we take to Krishna consciousness, all these tears get dried up. Tadeva ramyam ruchiram navam navam tadeva sashvan manaso mahotsavam tadeva shokarnava shoshanam nrinam yaduttama shloka yasho no kiyate. So after suffering so much, shoka arnava shoshanam, when we hear the wonderful pastimes of Krishna, Ramyam, which are very attractive, always new, and they are pleasing to the ears. When we hear these pastimes, the ocean of tears gets evaporated. One becomes happy. So after one goes to the spiritual world, he will never ever think of coming back to this place which is so very miserable. The free will is always there. Free will is always there. Krishna never takes away the free will of living entity. But by living in this material world for such a long time, living entity learns a lesson. No, no, no. Never ever I will go to that place again. That's how he continues to stay there. He never comes back. Okay. But the process is very, very important. We have to equip our intelligence with this knowledge of scriptures. Have faith in the scriptures. And that faith will come by being with those who have faith, by being with those who are practicing these principles of spiritual life. Then we will develop this such faith in the scriptures. Otherwise, people question the scriptures. So why should I believe in scriptures? But when we live and stay in association of those people who are practicing spiritual life, following scriptural injunctions, then we also get that faith. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, a person who has faith, he acquires knowledge. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. And then he says, a person who has no faith, he can never get happiness either in this life nor in the next. Agyascha, ashraddhanascha, samshayatma, vinashyati. Three things he is saying: ignorant people, faithless people, and doubting people. Prabhupada translates doubting soul. They are destroyed. Nayam loko asti na paro na sukham samshayatmana. They can never be happy either in this world nor in the next. So therefore, all these knowledge of scriptures, they have to be applied in our lives with faith so that our conviction becomes strong. Because when we, just like, in in science, there is a theory and a practical. When we do practical, the knowledge of theoretical things become strong. We develop faith in the theory. Similarly, when we follow the principles of scriptures, apply in our life, and we experience the transformation in us, then that faith becomes more and more strong. So then, the words of scriptures will make sense and will advance very nicely in spiritual life. That is the understanding. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, there is a question connected to the previous answer, which you had used the word Yukta Vairagya. So somebody's asking, what is the meaning of Yukta Vairagya?
Oh, okay. So, as I said, when somebody has money and he develops a feeling of detachment, oh, I don't want this money, I want to become a renunciant. What is the use of being attached to all this money, things of the world, opulence of the world? No, 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 I don't want to get implicated. I don't want any of this. That is renunciation. But you know, scriptures say if you have some resources, rather than giving them up completely, use them in service of Krishna. Just like the famous rock star George Harrison, he came to Srila Prabhupada and he was really devoted to Krishna and he got attracted to Krishna consciousness. One day he came to Prabhupada and said, Swamiji, I want to shave up and I want to join this movement. George Harrison was a very, very famous personality. At such a young age, he was such a famous and rich and wealthy personality. Srila Prabhupada, he said, no, 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 no. You are such a well-known personality. Use your fame to spread this knowledge of Krishna consciousness. Write songs about Krishna, and in this way, Krishna will reach everywhere in the world. And after that, George Harrison, he started writing songs about Krishna. He made albums about Hare Krishna mantra, and Hare Krishna mantra album, it was number one selling, album in London. So that is the example of Yukta Vairagya. He could have renounced, he could have joined temple, but Srila Prabhupada, he said, no, you are a very famous personality, influential personality, use it to serve Krishna. That is Yukta Vairagya. Whatever you have wealth, use it. You have intelligence, use it. You can speak something, use it. You want to give your life, okay, that is also good. एतावज्जन्म साफल्यम देहिनामिह देहिषु प्राणैरर्थैर्धिया वाचा श्रेय आचरणम sada. This human form which we have got, the safalta, the success of this human form is to use your pran, life for Krishna. No, that is too much. Okay, wealth for Krishna, that is also too much. Intelligence, at least words, do something, whatever you have, try to serve Krishna with that. That is Yukta Vairagya. Rather than artificially giving up, you can use it for Krishna's service. That is the principle of Yukta Vairagya. Okay.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Extremely grateful to you. Looking forward to our next session too.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you, Prabhuji. Very good.
Hare Krishna.